Yesterday, I put a post on Instagram of me giving a presentation in 2018 to Chinese CEOs and billionaires. And I spoke right after Gary Gensler, and someone messaged me off this post on Instagram, and he said, I want to hear the story of this. And normally I record episodes on The Edward Show about growth hacking and ideas that I'm having and discoveries that I'm making. This is going to be one of those episodes where I tell a story, because this was a crazy story. And it's even crazier when I went back to my marketing journal and looked at all of my notes for the event. If you're a new listener to the show, I have a marketing journal. I write down in great detail all the things with marketing that I'm doing, that I'm learning, and I put down the dates. So I went back to this time and I wrote about this presentation, and it was a crazy time. This was 5 years ago, pretty much exactly 5 years ago in a month. It was during the days of our blockchain game. So if you don't know, my friends and I, we invented it's now called play to earn. We invented that in crypto. At the time, we're just like, yeah, we made the first video game in crypto. Simultaneously, we accidentally invented play to earn. We had the first play to earn game. It made $500,000 in the first 48 hours of launch, $500,000 in the first 48 hours of launch, and then $1 million by the end of the first month. That game is called World of Ether, so you can just Google it. There's press releases out about it. I've told a lot of stories about this on the podcast because it was an exciting time. And this was many, many months after launch, and I was at some random event. I was going, we also at the time were running the biggest blockchain meetup in the world. I was also getting invited to a ton of crypto and blockchain events, not just because of our meetup, but also because of the game. And on a fateful October 15th of 2018, I was at one very top tier event, and I met somebody from this crypto firm, a very mysterious crypto firm, and I'll explain why at the end. And this person says, you should meet my bosses. We're doing an incredible event next week. It would be cool to have you come. So the next night, me and my co-founders, we meet with this firm. And this firm, it's a Chinese crypto firm. And we arrive and we're on a high. Our game is number one on a very popular crypto subreddit at the time when we arrive. Everyone's talking about us. It's really exciting. And so me and my co-founders, we go with this Chinese company to just a random cafe and we talk. Just a random cafe out in Manhattan. This company sells us pretty hard on spending $4,500 to present at their conference on Monday. This is a Tuesday where we're sitting with them, and they are selling us hard to present at their crypto conference on Monday. And they convince us to do it. I wrote in my notes, and reading my notes is funny. This is what I wrote. I wrote, the boss of the company keeps saying how she loves that we have the quote unquote real American spirit. That's what they kept telling us. And I guess it worked. They flattered us. They appealed to our egos, and we liked it because we dropped the $4,500. We sent it to them the next day because we wanted to present to the top people that they said would be at their one-day conference. They had this one-day conference with really, really top people. They could have been lying. We didn't know if they would be. I mean, I already told you. I already started with the end of the story, so we know that they're not. And so we send them the $4,500, but this is where it starts to get insane. So it's a Wednesday when we send them the money, and the presentation, the conference is on Monday. And I remember they immediately say we need all of these marketing materials, and we have to rush. The timelines are so, this is what I wrote. Timelines are so crazy. No time to think about anything other than World of Ether. I wrote that in my journal because we had to rush to get them so many banners and all this copy and prepare images, so much of all different sizes. We went into their office on Friday. So we had a day to prepare all the marketing materials, only a day to prepare all the marketing materials. Next day we go into their office, give it to them. And then on Saturday, so the presentation is on Monday. We dropped $4,500 on this. And then on Saturday, we have to actually come up with a presentation. So we have, and I'm the one who's going to present it because I'm a good speaker. And so I'm laughing. I'm laughing as I remember this and I tell this. And so on Saturday, I write the 7-minute script for the presentation. My co-founders make changes to it. And then at 9 p.m. on Saturday, I begin committing it to memory. It's 7 minutes, so I want to pack in the most impactful statements and facts that I can, and I don't want to miss anything. 7 minutes, $4,500 for a 7-minute presentation. And I'm taking this fully seriously. So I start committing it to memory. And I wrote in my journal, begin the arduous journey of countless rehearsals and memorization for Monday's presentation. I'm also taking a lot of naps because rehearsing before bed is very good for memorization. That was a trick that I was using to commit the presentation to memory better. Is I would rehearse a few times, maybe like 3 times, and then I would take a nap, fall into REM, nap for, I don't know, an hour, and then do it again and again and again. Then what I did, and this is the same night, I can't believe this was the same night. Then what I did is I recorded the audio of the presentation, and then I put it onto my phone. I listened to it on loop for 90 minutes while biking around Prospect Park. This is from 11 to 12:20 a.m. There's no one in the park. This is New York City's second biggest park, right after Central Park. And I'm on a really fast electric bike. It's wind blowing through my hair. And I just bike around the park, around and around, while the presentation plays on loop on headphones. The next day, I spend the whole day memorizing my speech, doing it again, practicing in front of my friends, practicing in front of my team over video chat. So that's Sunday, and then the next day is Monday. And we all get to this conference early. I got there at 10 a.m. We do a media interview, and then we find out that our speaking slot is at 4:50 p.m. So I go back home to nap because I don't want to be tired for the presentation. My co-founders stay, and they meet all the amazing people who are there. And then I come back, and it's time for me to speak. And like I said, all these CEOs and billionaires from China are in the audience. And right before me goes Gary Gensler. I got to meet him, and then I spoke after him, and I remembered 100% of the script. The script that was written 2 days before, I remembered all of it. I did a pretty good job speaking, and then we met people after, and it was great. We met like amazing people who we still talk to today. But this is the really crazy part of this. So that was how that right there is the story of how I spoke after Gary Gensler at this presentation. We dropped $4,500 to be in that room. I've since gone to such crazy events where, I talked about the Forbes Iconoclast Summit, where there was trillions of dollars in assets under management. And I just went for free to that. And it was only like 200 people there. And I was one of the 200 people. That was earlier this year. But let me tell you the end of this story, and let me explain what's so crazy. The company that threw this conference, they disappeared after this. Their emails don't work. The office that we went to isn't there. Their Telegram handles just have the ghost icons. The Telegram handles were abandoned. Like, these people disappeared completely. Can't find them on LinkedIn by names. Can't find them by names anywhere. Can't find any traces of the company. I suppose I could look on Wayback Machine. I'm sure it would be there. Everything is there. And then maybe I could, if I really wanted to, I could track it down. But like, the people disappeared. And so it was this amazing time and an amazing conference. And the only memories that I have of it are these few pictures, which I shared on Instagram, the connections that we made, and my journal entries. And now, this podcast. This is episode 123 of The Edward Show. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.